What if everything happening around us, from pandemics to digital currencies, food shortages to rising authoritarianism, isn't random at all? What if it's all part of a single, sweeping plan to reshape the world into something unrecognizable? It sounds like a movie plot, but it's a theory that millions believe. A coordinated global agenda called the Great Reset. Launched by the World Economic Forum in 2020, the Great Reset is marketed as a plan to build a more sustainable, equitable world. But according to critics and conspiracy theorists, it's a Trojan horse. Beneath the polished branding lies a vision of mass surveillance, economic control, and a centralized one-world government. In this version of reality, billionaires, banks, tech corporations, and international institutions like the UN and WEF aren't working independently. They're coordinating. Their real goal? To consolidate power, track every human on Earth, and reduce the population to more manageable levels. This isn't science fiction. They're publishing documents, making public statements, implementing systems. The warnings are here, and the tools are already being rolled out. In this video, we expose the full agenda behind the Great Reset, from digital currency to food control, depopulation, and beyond. This is the story the media won't tell you because they're in on it. The Great Reset was introduced by the World Economic Forum as a response to the global economic disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Klaus Schwab, founder of the WEF, proposed that the crisis was an opportunity to reset the world's economy and social systems. On the surface, it sounds idealistic, a way to fix inequality, climate change, and technological risks. But skeptics argue that the reset is not about helping people. It's about helping elites maintain control during a time of massive global instability. Every solution proposed involves centralization, surveillance, and top-down governance. The idea is not to empower individuals, but to weaken national sovereignty and transfer power to global institutions. From ESG scoring for corporations to public-private partnerships that bypass democratic processes, the reset is a tool to dismantle the middle class and destroy local control. The leaders driving it are not elected, but they're shaping policy that affects billions. They use the language of compassion, equity, inclusion, sustainability. But these words mask the agenda. Behind every green initiative is a control mechanism. Behind every inclusive policy is a central authority dictating terms. In short, the Great Reset is not a plan to save the world, it's a plan to reprogram it, with the elite as the architects. Central Bank Digital Currencies, CBDCs, are the next phase of financial control. Governments and banks around the world are rushing to replace cash with programmable digital money. Unlike Bitcoin, CBDCs are not decentralized. They are monitored, recorded, and can be turned off with the push of a button. With CBDCs, your access to money could be conditioned on your behavior, carbon footprint, vaccination status, or political views. If you step out of line, your digital wallet could be frozen or limited. The Chinese social credit system has already demonstrated how powerful this kind of tool can be. Now add digital ID into the mix. A single identity tied to your health records, travel history, financial accounts, and even your online activity. These systems are being implemented under the guise of convenience and public safety, especially post-COVID. Once these technologies are widespread, you won't be able to buy food, get healthcare, or travel without scanning your face or showing proof of compliance. It's a surveillance web that tracks your every move, and it will be nearly impossible to opt out. Together, CBDCs and digital IDs form a digital control grid. It's not just about knowing where you are, it's about controlling what you can do based on who you are and how you behave. Bill Gates has quietly become the largest private owner of farmland in the United States. At the same time, global policies are being introduced to limit traditional farming under the banner of climate action. Cows are blamed for emissions, while 3D printed meat and insect protein are pushed as sustainable alternatives. This shift isn't about health or climate. It's about control. Controlling who grows food, what food is allowed, and who can access it. By centralizing agriculture under biotech giants and restricting independent farmers, they make populations more dependent on corporate supply chains. The same strategy applies to housing. Investment firms like BlackRock are buying up residential properties, turning would-be homeowners into permanent renters. Meanwhile, the WEF is promoting the idea that owning property is outdated. Their vision is a future where you own nothing and rent everything, with the system deciding what you can access. Small business closures during the pandemic accelerated this trend. Millions of independent enterprises were shut down while big box corporations thrived. The outcome? Less ownership, less freedom, more dependence on megasystems. Food and housing are basic needs. When elites control both, they don't need weapons. They just deny you access, and once you're dependent, your obedience is automatic. For decades, powerful institutions have expressed concern over overpopulation. Groups like the Club of Rome and figures like Ted Turner and Bill Gates have suggested that a smaller global population is necessary for planetary sustainability. This belief has seeped into policy, from sterilization campaigns in the developing world to restrictive reproductive policies. Some argue that these programs go far beyond public health and into population engineering. They believe the Great Reset provides a perfect framework for global depopulation under the banner of climate action and public safety. Critics point to declining fertility rates, rising chronic illnesses, and increasing mental health disorders as evidence that something larger is at play. Processed foods, pharmaceuticals, and environmental toxins are weakening populations worldwide. Some believe this is not a side effect, but a feature of the plan. The most controversial claim is that recent health interventions, including certain vaccines, may have long-term effects on fertility and mortality. While mainstream science denies this, the secrecy and censorship around the topic only fuels suspicion. In the end, whether intentional or not, the systems being built reduce life, not support it. They reward compliance, discourage reproduction, and penalize independence. That's not public health, that's population management. The ultimate goal, according to this theory, is to dismantle the nation-state and replace it with a one-world government. Borders, local laws, and cultural identities are being erased in favor of global governance ruled by corporations and international bureaucracies. The United Nations Agenda 2030 outlines this transition: centralized planning, digital infrastructure, sustainable development goals enforced by digital compliance. It sounds progressive, but it means global decisions made by unelected elites far removed from the people affected. In this world, dissent becomes dangerous. AI surveillance systems and facial recognition are already being rolled out across major cities. Smart everything, smart homes, smart cars, smart cities means data collection on a massive scale. And with every data point, your autonomy shrinks. The idea is to create a world where you are tracked, ranked, and conditioned to behave in ways approved by the system. Dissent is punished. Individualism is outlawed. Privacy is extinct. This is the final phase of the reset, not just economic control or population shifts, but a total reset of what it means to be human. But here's the key point. Their plan only works if we let it. The system depends on our compliance, and compliance begins with ignorance. That's why exposing this agenda is step one. We can fight back, and millions already are. People are moving, off-grid, choosing cash over digital payments, growing their own food, and rejecting digital surveillance. Awareness is spreading. Resistance is growing. Whistleblowers, independent journalists, and alternative platforms are lighting the path. The mainstream media won't cover this because they benefit from the system. But the truth is louder than ever. The window to act is shrinking. Once CBDCs and digital IDs are locked in, reversing course becomes nearly impossible. The time to reclaim your freedom is now. Speak out, share this video, research everything, build parallel systems, because the world is being reset, and it's up to us to decide what it resets into. You now see the full picture. The Great Reset is not about progress, it's about control. A system where privacy is gone, ownership is gone, and even life itself is managed from above. They said, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. But we say, you'll know everything and you'll be free. Freedom isn't something granted, it's something protected, with awareness, with action, with truth. If this message reached you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Talk about it. Push back. Because the more we expose their plan, the harder it becomes to complete it. This isn't just a theory, it's a warning. And if we stand together, it can also be a turning point.